Hey, YouTube. So, Hillary Clinton went on one of the weekend shows. We're back on Hillary again. Famous whipping toy. Popular whipping toy. They just like beating up on Hillary for whatever reason. So now they put this interviewer put the question to Hillary Clinton: should Bill have resigned? And she said, no, absolutely not. It was a consensual affair. Now, I'm sure as a wife, she doesn't enjoy saying that it was a consensual affair, but at some point we have to have some desire to know the truth. The truth was this woman was 22 years old. Okay, so they're saying they call it abuse. The power dynamic is off. So are we as a society going to pretend that there are not women who are attracted to powerful men? That's a lie. You walk through, I used to work in Beverly Hills. You walk through Beverly Hills, tons and tons and tons, if you could weigh them, wealthy, successful men with younger, by far, wives. It just is what it is. There are many, they call it a power dynamic. In other words, only people who work in the broiler room, or let's say work in the mail room, they can only date other people who work in the mail room. If the other person has any kind of position higher than them, then that is unequal, and that is a power dynamic. So it is him abusing her, or vice versa. It's bullshit. It's not unusual for women to have a lesser job than in the mail. It's not unusual. It's not unusual that the male pays for the meal. It's not unusual. I'm not saying that I'm in any way in disagreement with this Me Too movement. In fact, I'm a supporter. And I would encourage these women, anytime anybody's abused you, you feel like you're abused, to come forward. But to say that a secretary cannot have a mutual affair with a boss, it's ridiculous. And we can only pretend that there aren't people, women, ambitious women, who trying to catch a man. And some of them are trying to catch even a married man to have gifts. I'm not saying it's all people like that. It depends on the individual situation. But I don't think it is fair to say that all of these basketball players who have affairs can only have affairs with other female athletes. And even if the female athlete did have an affair with them, would she be making the same amount of money as he make? Does it come down to dollars and cents? This is something that happens all the time. And this is where Me Too is going to run into a little problem. When they try to make it like every affair, and you guys know you're dirty. You have affairs. People have affairs. It is part of this damn society. They do. To suggest that they have to be on the same level or it's an abuse of power, I think it's ridiculous. Shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be having no affairs. You married, you're supposed to stay married, stay with your wife. But I get Hillary's point. He was not calling her in his office and filling her up or making her do things she didn't want to do. He had an affair. Hillary, I'm sure she don't want to talk about that. I'm sure it makes her cringe that all his needs weren't being met at home. But it's totally different than him being an abuser. And to say just because he had a much, 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 much better job than this girl does not mean she could not have been attracted to him as well. Bill Clinton, I remember when he ran, I was living a little different lifestyle at the time, and out of jail, whatever. I was still around enough to see the television broadcast, right? And I would say, that's a good-looking guy. I had no interest in him, but I'm just saying that's a good-looking guy. He looks like a Kennedy to me. So if he's a good-looking guy, this was, years back. If he's a good-looking guy and he's a powerful man, why couldn't she be attracted to him? I think it's unreasonable to say that she's being abused because she's having an affair with the boss. This is by her own choice. Many women would love to fuck the president. Excuse my language. I'm just telling you the truth. You guys don't watch Scandal? Many people would love to have an affair, not only with the president of the United States, but just the head of an organization or the CEO. Those people, they always have somebody. Somebody wants them. It's not always totally the physical, but a lot of women, they like successful people. It's not unusual. It's not unusual at all. And are we going to pretend now that some women don't go to college, educate themselves, surround themselves in the right environments so that they can attract someone who they consider worthy of marrying them? Of course there are. There are all kind of people. So yes, you can say Bill Clinton should have had an affair with the secretary or intern, but I don't think that's Me Too. I don't think she has any right to say that's Me Too. I was abused by the president. There are several other cases, which I will not go into, where people in power have had these relationships with these other people, and then the other people claim, he made me drive that Mercedes. I never wanted it. He forced a rent check on me. It's bullshit, and I think you should be able to call bullshit and still make your argument. No one should be abused, and no one should abuse their power. But that doesn't mean that there are not going to be relationships formed where the attraction is mutual. It's the truth. I think that's what I got to say about it. It just bugged me that they would say that because this man had all this power, that there was a power dynamic that he could not have an affair with anyone lower than him. So what, is he supposed to have an affair with another president? Is that it? I think they did try that storyline in Scandal at one point. How many of those are there around? Everybody is beneath him. I mean, as far as the job description. So Hillary, when confronted with this question, it might have been a mistake for her to switch over to Trump, although there's lots and lots there, but she just let somebody else do it, is all. She said, what about the current resident of the White House? What about all his affairs? And she is correct, because there's been many, many, many of them, and I don't think we even scratched the surface of how many there were, where this dude was running around town playing billionaire. I mean, that's been his role in life, right? Rich man, lots of girls, buys the damn Miss America, obsessed with beautiful blonde women. As he says, he just starts kissing them and doing other things to them. I don't think it should came from Hillary, though. Even though she's right. He's done a whole lot worse than Bill Clinton could ever dream of. I'm certain of that. But that wasn't what the man was asking him about. And I think it's unfair to keep dragging this woman through the mud because her husband had an affair. Her husband had the affair. She was the one that was cheated on. So you expect her to be happy about asking these damn questions? It's been over, what, 25 years? And you expect her to then side with the women against her husband? The whole thing's a mess. People need to let it go. He is not in office. She is not in office. They need to let that go, in my opinion. This girl, Monica Lewinsky, had an affair with the president. A lot of women's dreams. Quiet as a cat, probably a lot of males' dreams. Powerful man. Don't have to be the president of the United States. Could be Bon Jovi, who knows, whatever. You think that rock stars, even old rock stars, don't still have groupies? People who want to be with them? It's just real life. So I just don't agree with the part, the power dynamic part there, where it's saying that it's impossible for her to like him, to want to have an affair with him. I think an affair was an affair. It was wrong. It was wrong on both their parts. He was a married man and she was screwing a married man. That's it. But I'm still with you guys. Me too. Someone abusing you is totally different.